You know, the book is called, it's about conspiracies and lies, and you really don't take on Fox News. Why not?
Look, because the book was...
Tucker Carlson
because the book... No, I don't watch it, but the book...
Are you aware of what he does?
Not really. I don't pay a lot of attention to it.
It's a book with truth deniers, conspiracy theorists on the cover.
Right.
And you attack CNN and the New York Times and MSNBC and not Fox.
But excuse me, I don't attack them as conspiracy theorists or truth deniers. I talk about bias.
And is bias more dangerous to the country than conspiracy theorists?
No, but that's the third section of the book.
I read
where
it.
I talk about the movement forward. In the center portion of the book, we talk about the conspiracy theories and the truth denying that went on with things like QAnon, Pizzagate, the election situation, John Birch Society. And that's what I talk about. There's two sections of the book, and I'm sure accidentally you're conflating them.
I'm not conflating them, but I don't think I don't think it's an intellectually honest case to make against conspiracy theories without taking on Fox News.
Well, listen, then you can write that in your book.
Well, I'm not trying to rescue the Republican Party. It's good for the country or bad?
Listen, there are shows that I like in Fox News, and there's shows that I don't like. Like there are shows that I like here,
Are you afraid to question
like.
the purveyors of conspiracy theories and
By the way, but that's your opinion. You're welcome to your opinion, like everybody else in this country is welcome to your opinion. I don't consider people like Sean Hannity or Laura Ingraham purveyors.
I didn't say either of their names.
Well,
Tucker Carlson.
you said the evening news programs at Fox News.
The 8 p.m. hour.
And as I told you, I don't watch the show, so I don't know what Tucker does from night to night. If I watch anything at night in news, because most of the time I'm watching sports, but if I'm watching anything in news, I'm usually watching either Sean or Laura.
So I wrestled with whether I do a video on Chris Christie as he continues to try and sell his books, and the rest of the media dutifully helps him along on his image rehab tour, with the exception of Nicole Wallace, who didn't seem especially interested in being one of his foot soldiers. But because Chris Christie's been featured in the New York Times, on CNN, CNBC, ABC twice, MSNBC 3 times, on The Daily Show, Fox News, and Fox Business, I figured it was more important to actually confront the content of what he's saying, and less important now to starve him of oxygen, since that train clearly seems to have left the station. Now, right off the bat, just like Nicole Wallace said, how does Christie get by writing a book about conspiracy theories and lies without taking on the network responsible for disseminating the conspiracy theories and lies? How does he think that these lies are spread? Through osmosis? Fox News is regularly the most watched news outlet in the country. They are not only a willing participant in the GOP's disinformation, they are the most critical part, not only at circulating it, but mainstreaming it. For example, in the aftermath of Trump's unfounded claim that the election was stolen, Fox News cast doubt on the election results more than 800 times. 800 times. Remember, this is a debunked conspiracy theory. It is baseless. It is an outright lie. The claim that the election was rigged was never, meaning not once, validated in any of the 60 court cases when it was raised, including in front of 8 judges who Trump himself appointed. It was never validated by Trump's own Department of Justice. It was never validated by Trump's own Department of Homeland Security. It was never validated in any of the recounts and audits, of which there were many that would have actually shown a discrepancy from the initial ballot counts. To this day, Republicans can't point to a single shred of evidence beyond the fact that people, quote, don't trust the election results, which is the direct result of Republicans sowing that distrust, only doing so without proof. It is nothing more than self-fulfilling circular logic. But for that circular logic to work, it has to be heard. And for that, Fox News has been essential. Also, something I find especially funny here is that Chris Christie tries to run away from someone like Tucker Carlson, playing it off like he's wholly unfamiliar with the guy. Now, first of all, while Christie tries to claim that he's never heard of the guy, in reality, he has been on Tucker Carlson's show. Here's a tweet from Christie literally promoting that appearance. But beyond that, this is what Christie does. This is how he distances himself from anyone who might be inconvenient for him. He's done the same thing in the past with Trump, offering tepid rebukes while at the same time coaching the guy ahead of his debates to win re-election. Christie literally caught COVID that way and almost died. He is a living, breathing embodiment of the danger of Donald Trump and his dangerous ways. And yet still he tiptoes around the GOP so as not to upset the wrong people. But sure, real New Jersey straight talker. Got it. The fact is that Christie does just little enough to avoid really poking the bear and getting himself excommunicated. He's trying to have it both ways, claiming that he's trying to rescue the Republican Party by attacking low-hanging fruit like QAnon and Pizzagate, which is some fringe stuff that, frankly, isn't really the biggest threat we face, while failing to confront entities like Fox News, which is actually a threat. Saying Pizzagate is bad doesn't make you a hero. It means you're capable of doing the bare minimum. Christie fashions himself this straight-talking, no-bullshit guy from Jersey, and yet his book is proof that the whole no-bullshit shtick is bullshit. How do you rescue a party while being too much of a coward to acknowledge the outlet that dictates its messaging? This is a network that will misrepresent every single Democratic bill that helps regular people because its agenda is to make Democrats fail. It's a network that gins up every Republican culture war because it knows that Republicans can't win on policy, and so the goal has to be to make sure that policy always takes a second seat to migrant caravans and critical race theory and wars on Christmas. Fox exists to scare its viewers, to lie to them, to make them believe that Republicans can do no wrong and that the worst thing they've ever heard about Democrats is true. And then when conspiracy theories pop up about Democrats, of course the people who've been primed to believe those things believe them. And so if you're Chris Christie, how do you separate the dangers of conspiracy theories from the network and the people who facilitated the widespread belief of those conspiracy theories? You can't. And his failure to bother making that connection shows that he's not trying to make a good faith effort to actually combat any of this stuff. He's just trying to make some money from his book. So good on Nicolle Wallace for holding Christie's feet to the fire and for doing what every other journalist who invited him on national TV to parade some baseless talking points about the guy who literally coached the most dangerous authoritarian to ever hold the presidency to try and win re-election. Christie might have found this niche where he's convinced his buddies in the media that he's different from the very people whose wagons he's hitched himself to, but his actions speak far louder than words. He is a Trump acolyte and a Fox apologist, and anyone who's unwilling to admit that isn't looking to rescue anything other than his image with the help of a media that's more than willing to eat whatever they're fed without an ounce of critical thinking. To see more videos like this, click the subscribe button right here on this screen. And if you want to support my work, subscribe to my podcast, No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen. I cover the most important stories each week, and my guest is always one of the top political figures, including Vice President Kamala Harris, Jen Psaki, Elizabeth Warren, Pete Buttigieg, Nancy Pelosi, Katie Porter, Cory Booker, and so many more. The podcast link is also right here on this screen, so give it a listen and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.